Impact was just screaming Vayne, Vayne, Vayne.
Yeah, that's what we remember.
He's a Vayne player. Why isn't he picking Vayne?
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. Unironically, I think I would have just probably, I don't even know. I think I would have just tried lane swap. If we didn't swap, I'll probably just tell my own at some point with TP, like match into the Vayne. I'm just laning mid.
Yogo suffering.
Please swap, save me.
Hello and welcome back to Pros. I'm Jatt with Bwipo, CoreJJ Yeon. Really quickly, for those of you watching on YouTube and those listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart or Amazon Music, that's where we are. We're in all those places. But we just finished the northern part of the LTA split. Tiebreaker seeding match between FlyQuest and Team Liquid. And really, you guys were already having a good discussion about the game, so I almost just want to continue the discussion. Like, what happened? What happened in the game?
We lost.
No, I was just like highlighting. I think Yeon pointed out how many times I ulted him, and it's like, I felt like in the game, their front line was really split from their back line, so I felt like I had angles to ult and go in and like make a lot of chaos. And I think if we can make a lot of chaos, that's when Nico, for example, shines a lot, like Cassiopeia, Corki. Like, these are really short range characters that want to just have a messy fight. They just don't want to get CC'd, focused, and die. So I thought I would create that chaos. Unfortunately, I kept missing them, or he was dodging them. You can pick.
Yeah, well, it was a really close game. You guys had Mountain Soul and then lost kind of back-to-back fights. And you and Core were pretty much up until recording this, watching on your phone. Then we had the replay client in there. What did you find? What happened?
We just couldn't really execute our team comp that well.
Yeah. What about it? You don't want to say?
We just couldn't execute our team fight that well. That's what we've been working on this week. We've been, honestly, since the split's already like over and we're going soon, we've been having like a pretty rough, like, I won't say like week, but like couple weeks, I guess. We've been like very up and down.
Yeah.
This is probably one of our worst weeks.
Sure.
So I was very glad that we made Brazil, to be honest, for having such a bad week. But unfortunately, we like couldn't make it towards the end. We had such a good like first two games, but I think we just didn't use our tab button in our last game.
What does that mean?
Just like seeing how the comps like play each other.
Right.
And I think we kind of failed at that.
So you feel like you just had the wrong approach towards the team fights?
Yeah, I think we just like misexecuted how we should have played our fight.
Yeah. And it's been a pretty rapid split, like high pressure, because I was thinking after last week, oh man, you know, if Palafox pops off again, maybe Team Liquid wouldn't go. You did 2-0 that though, so are you relieved? Are you still like disappointed with how things have been going?
I'm definitely disappointed, but I mean, making Brazil is the first goal we should do. And we kind of did like fun game.
Yeah.
So I hope everyone having fun.
It was very entertaining.
Yeah. That's what we play for. We are entertainer.
Yeah. Can you go into a little bit about what you think went wrong in the fights?
Everything.
Makes sense.
What do you think? How are you able to come back in it then?
I mean, like I said, I think our comp like really enjoys chaos. Like I think Vi gets a lot more value and Bessa can get a lot more value. I didn't actually end up getting much value except for like one fight, I think near the end. I think the very last one, maybe I got some value, but for the most part, I think I didn't play my character that well. But my Corki and Cassiopeia were owning, so I was really happy about that. Because there was so much chaos, like you ended up with like Corki 1v1ing Azir off the side of the game-winning fight. You had like Corki 1v1ing Azir on the side. Cassiopeia's taken down the Skarner and the Cassante, like low-key outplaying them. Meanwhile, me and Vi are on the Renata Ashe 2v2ing those. Like that's exactly kind of what we want, in my opinion at least. I'm yet to hear what my teammates think about that, so we'll see about that. Because that's my opinion. That's what I was looking for most of the game. Because I felt like if we can create that, then a 5v5 is not really a 5v5, and we're really happy about that.
Yeah. Definitely easier, I'd say, like, because you probably haven't even watched back the fights yet.
I have not, no.
Yeah, you're just thinking about it. Meanwhile, it's a different energy. You guys definitely feel quite disappointed with the way team fights are going.
It's just one game.
Yeah, it's just one game.
To be fair, regardless win or lose, we usually always just, as soon as the game ends, we all just look back.
Just review right away.
We don't really, win or lose, we just go back and review it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But today was especially disappointing, probably.
Right. Had you been making progress in the week of scrims in getting on the same page in team fights, and that's why it's more disappointing that it fell apart at the end? Or is it just because it hasn't been working all week, it's still continually frustrating that you couldn't close?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we had a very bad week until our last day. We like had a very good last day because we like managed to bring ourselves together.
Yeah.
So then it was very good. And then I won't say we had like a specific like goal in mind, like team fighting, but we were just basically trying to like unite together and do the same thing at least, because we were very desynced.
Yeah. Core, anything to add?
Yeah. I don't know, like the moments we lost the team fight, I keep passing my heads, but we learn from this game, and I think this week we learned there's some hope.
Yeah.
I think if we can play better, at least we can say it's on us. We can win if we can come back.
Yeah. Something I noticed, even though it was a small sample size, like only 5 games coming into this one, everyone was making a big deal of Umpty's deaths coming into the week, but at the same time, it was just 5 games. And the TL early games were still really strong. I think you were averaging like 1,000 gold up at 14 minutes. I'm just kind of curious with your feeling right now compared to where you were last year with the same roster and where you are now. You feel a little bit sloppy, slow, or has the game just changed a lot and it's hard to adapt?
So I will say that ever since we had the new edition of like Swiffer, right? We've been we've been trying a lot of new things.
Okay.
And like we're definitely not playing the same comps as we did before.
Yeah.
So we're doing a lot of experimenting. We're failing a lot. So
which
we're
can
definitely
be good.
Yeah, good or bad, like we'll see. But we're definitely learning. So
yeah.
What did you change? I can't tell.
Really?
What did you guys change? You play the exact same comps in top mid jungle at least. Maybe bot lane you guys changed picks, but like when I think of TL, I think Cassante, Rumble.
Okay. What's the recipe?
Okay. Let's see.
I don't know the recipe. I think Cassante, Rumble. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. And then I think of jungle like some donkey jungler that just runs around and like ganks people. Skarner, Volibear, whatever, same shit. Mid lane, same shit. Talia Azir. So what did you change? To me, it sounds like nothing changed.
I don't think we played Azir that much before, did we? I think we've been playing a lot.
So you added Azir.
We added Azir, but then we've been adding like a lot more new champions and scrims, especially in mid lane, I would say.
Okay. And then you've been trying to add things not on stage. So you guys have been playing the same things on stage, and the scrims you've been mixing.
That's why our scrims are going like back and forth as well. Since
I just wanted to, because you guys said like you change things up, but like on stage.
Oh yeah, maybe it's
nothing changed.
We're not changing like 180, right?
Yeah, for sure.
30 degrees.
I can see how you can see that, but since like we're like
Makes sense.
playing scrims.
I was just curious.
Yeah, you're right.
Especially because people listening are only seeing the stage games, right? So they'll just be like, what do you mean? You guys picked the exact same, same type of draft. That's why I was like, also like, really? But it makes sense. I mean, you guys did pull out the Ambessa top. You played Jace top. That's also things that wouldn't necessarily be something you see from TL. So there's that too.
Yeah, tank Jace top. The other thing is, I was expecting TL Fly. Just, from a fan perspective, I don't see behind the scenes. I don't see scrims. I was expecting TL Fly last week on pros.
Damn.
Yeah. I was expecting 1 and 2 seed, but you guys fell to 3 and 4. I know I've heard a lot from TL. Bwipo, haven't heard from you, other than the pre-interview that we had. Last week had to be pretty disappointing for you guys.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was pretty disappointing, but I think it's a sign of a systematic issue where, at least for me, I think that a team overperforms and plays at a really high level when everyone in the game has the same idea. So when you look at a game from like 12 minutes to 18 minutes and you look at everyone, honestly, you're going to go from minute 1. Like when you look from minute 1 to 20 and you see that everyone's making the decision that supports usually your win condition, that's a sign of a really good team. So for example, like your top laner, even though he's in a winning position, he doesn't greed. He takes tempo, recalls, walks back. He's like, I took the guy's flash, I'm happy. He doesn't try to push for lead. He doesn't do anything. He's just, this is making me stronger for the point where I need to support my win condition. That could be a jungler, that could be AD, that could be mid. It could also be a top laner. Same vice versa. Your bot lane, for example, wins, gets a crash they're not supposed to get, or they get a flash they're not supposed to get. They don't try to squeeze out of that. They don't call jungle to help that. It's like, he doesn't have flash, that's one less tool to kill me. I'm going to use that tempo and the fact that I can now play my waves more aggressively, crash waves more effectively without any help when you normally may have needed help, right? That I think is the definition of an overperforming team. Is when that entire team, you look at everyone's decisions individually and you can tell like this guy's arrow is pointed straight at that guy and he's helping that guy every step of the way. It can also be 2 different people, right? So sometimes it's like you help AD and mid, sometimes you help mid. Point is, I think we suck at that right now, including me. I'm terrible at this right now. Like whenever I get like, ooh, a cookie, it's like, ooh. I get a flash like, oh, I can kill him. And then I try to kill him and then I use my tempo trying to kill him. And then, I get ganked and now my position is worse than it would have been. And I don't have, like for example, I crashed wave top, Skarner E through the wall in the first Dignitas game I play. I blow my Swain ult and it's like, oh fuck, I don't have Swain ult for grubs. And it's just like me trying to squeeze something out of the Cassante there because I'm super far ahead of him because of the swap and I'm just like owning him in lane. That's definitive proof that I'm not thinking of our win condition. That's me being greedy.
Right. We saw Swain Garen today as well. How does this happen? The Garen, so the Swain, we already heard you had it as a pocket pick. I asked Nuke Duck afterwards and it was I love interviewing Nuke Duck because he doesn't want to give things away, but at the same time, it was just, even if I was coaching, I wouldn't want to say like exactly why we picked Garen. But he's like, oh, Garen, yeah, he's a lot of things.
I mean, I don't want to say exactly if he's not going to say it. Like, that's fine. I don't mind. I just think Garen is overpowered right now. Like, I mean, he gets like Last Stand now works on his ultimate. Axiom Arcanus works on his ultimate. Like, this shit does like half your health. Unironically, if you're at 45% health, you're dead.
Right.
Which, like, to me is just like, whoa, that's kind of crazy. And then in competitive play, everyone runs around swapping. You have a button that has the same amount of damage reduction Kasante W does, but it lasts for 4 seconds.
So you can build pretty squishy and still be tanky.
No, you can just go under your bot tower and like Kasante does.
Is that why Dokka's been just spamming Garen?
No, I think people are spamming Garen because they realize like this shit's not balanced. Like if anything goes wrong and this champion just gets out of line, like you don't like completely shit stomp him 1v1, like put him in the ground and keep putting him in the ground. He's just that kind of champion. Like he reminds me of like Camille in the sense that like you get ganked 1v2 by Camille, there's no counterplay. If you're in a position where they get on you, you will die with no counterplay, no mercy, and it will feel terrible because that champion will not only keep doing that if they get a +1, at some point he'll start beating you 1v1 too.
Yeah.
And he's just one of those characters where it's just like, if you don't keep him on like in the ground, he just does way too much damage. Like, I don't know, have you played any League recently? Have you seen Garen's ult?
So to be fair,
it's
I have played more League this year than in past years.
Oh.
It's still not nearly as much as you play. You could probably reach my number of games in like 3 days.
Okay.
No, I don't
How
mind.
much is that?
No, that's still pretty good. That's pretty good.
Not bad.
What I'm trying to say is like, when I look at the numbers, I look at the true damage number, I'm just like, what?
It looks strong.
What? Like a Sejuani with Heartsteel, like 40% health, just gone. And it's just, this champion has to be really strong. And obviously we're playing against Dignitas. I won't say that Garen blinds in the repertoire for every team, every situation, but I was like,
Very confident.
looks pretty good. Like they have Silas, Sejuani. What's the worst that can happen? I get vaned. Well, I'll just pray we can lane swap and we'll figure it out.
It was a nice solo kill, spinning on the wave, lashing in the 1 minion.
I stole that straight from a Korean Garen one trick. So I watch that guy a lot and he does that a lot.
What were you gonna do if you picked Vayne?
Huh? As I said, I was like, I hope we swap and I hope that I hope it works out. I don't know what the fuck to do. Like my champ's OP, I'll find a way, you know?
Because in the draft, if Impact was just screaming Vayne.
Yeah, that's why we remember
He's a Vayne player. Why isn't he picking Vayne?
I know, that's what I'm saying. Unironically, I think I would have just probably, I don't even know. I think I would have just tried to lane swap. If we didn't swap, I'll probably just tell my own at some point with TP, like match into the Vayne. I'm just laning mid.
You're not suffering.
Please squad, save me. Like, please squad, save me. I can't lane.
Yeah. For TL, I know we talked about the FlyQuest game, but what about the Shopify series? Because it was a 2-0. It was relieving. Like, what went well in that series for you guys, Yeon? You got player of the series in that series. I don't know if you know.
Oh, really?
Oh, did I?
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Nice. I think that we played like how we used to play, where we were very controlled, stacking every objective, not making it very volatile unless it was very hard winning. Just like our theme.
Yeah.
I think that was it. I think we just played like what we played united and like just did what we could.
Yeah.
Instead of making an extra play.
Okay. Core.
So I think Shopify game was like, basically we just choked them. So they were like more suffocated and then they didn't do anything until like one big moment and then we won the fight.
Yeah.
So it was kind of boring game. But we like boring game.
Game 1 felt super dominant and then ended at 30 minutes. And then game 2 felt closer, but ended at like 28 minutes. But that's just the way it ended up happening.
Because like after like 25 minutes, like every single fight is like game losing, game winning. We won one fight, same.
You didn't even have to win a fight. I was shocked. I was watching that game. I just want to highlight, like, it's 22 minutes. Soul's spawning in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you guys right-click Atakhan. Enemy team just beep, disconnected. And I was like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah.
It was like, that's what I was like, I think that's why the game ended so abruptly, because if you stack Soul and then you have to revive Atakhan, which is usually the one you get.
Yep.
If you can stall that one until the Soul spawns and then you get that, like, you kind of force the enemy team to just send it and fight you.
Yeah.
That's why we were kind of expecting similar thing happen in the FlyQuest game. We got the free Atakhan again. We got the free Dragon.
Like, game over.
Wait, it wasn't free Atakhan, was it? You guys died. It was a complete mess of a fight.
We got it first,
and then we kept fighting.
There you go.
I have a feeling we could have gotten out, but I didn't review that game. I don't really remember it. I don't know what kind of position you guys had.
We could.
I have no idea. Honestly, I don't remember even.
What were you going to say a second ago?
Sorry?
You were like, to be fair, and then Bwipo started talking. Did you have anything?
So like, to be fair, like, I think we could have gotten out, but I don't remember the exact situation.
Got it.
Because I don't remember their position in the game.
Yeah. I just remember it was calls like, oh, they have Atakhan for 40 more seconds. I'm like, guys, their useful members have no Atakhan. Only their useless ones do. And it was like, Renata and Skarner were the only ones that had it. And I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, let's just fight.
How's the 15 seconds feel on the Atakhan respawn?
It kind of feels bad still.
Dude, it feels good. Like nice, nice. Like 15 seconds, just relax, take a sip of my drink, like reassess the situation, look at the map, summoner spell check. I'm chilling. Like there's perfect opportunity to wind down. Like I like it, and it's more balanced because like when the enemy team has it, at least I can play the game still.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the question. Is at least this week, I think the teams that were taking Voracious Atakhan weren't necessarily winning the game as much, so it almost looked like it didn't do that much. But like in scrims, is it still one of those? Usually, if you get Voracious Atakhan, you win the game.
I personally think that everyone in every region kind of uses Atakhan very poorly.
Okay.
I think it goes to waste most, like, I would say 80% of the times. I think people try to overplay so much because they're just immortal. I see this so consistently from every team in every scrim and even on stage games. Like, I think I've seen the same situation on most LCK games, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if you guys watch it.
I we played against Dignitas, they got it, they ran into our completely ran it down.
Wiped. There's
4-0
for you.
Because you feel the power, like, we can revive, and then you just get insta-wipe, they get 1k gold, and you're just sitting there for 15 seconds. Shit.
I think there's a lot more left to be discovered for this buff. I definitely think that there's more to be done with it. But I also think that like getting the buff itself is pretty hard. Like Atakhan got hands, you know, like he's got hands and he's pretty tanky. So like if you try to fight around it, like securing that objective in the first place takes a lot of resources, takes a lot of practice, takes a lot of setting up. So in its own right, it makes sense that people haven't like gotten to a point where it's like, okay, our Atakhan setup is perfect. Let's talk about how we abuse the shit out of the buff. Teams are mostly just trying to get it right now. Getting the buff is already considered a pretty big win.
Yeah, and in solo queue, you can't even practice it. You just get ruined.
You know what I noticed? Did they buff? Did they buff the flower petal one or the ruinous one? Because suddenly in my solo queue games, the revive is spawning, and I didn't even know how that happened.
They've changed it. It was almost never happening in solo queue, so they adjusted the tuning to try and make it show up. In pro sometimes, but they just undershot it. They can tweak
but that's why I saw it in my solo queue, because I was like, why am I seeing this in my solo queue?
In solo queue, they made it much easier to get.
I'm a demon, you know, like I would always contribute towards the petal one. Like, I'm not gonna lie, when I'm playing solo queue, there's no way the petal one isn't spawning unless something changed for sure. I'm a demon.
So last week with 100 Thieves and Cloud9 getting the 1 and 2 seeds, just to go back a little bit, because all 4 of you guys are going to be going to Brazil. How surprising was it that 100 Thieves ended up being the 1 seed? Because that was not. I think I had them 4th or 5th before the season in terms of power ranking. Can start with you, Core.
Oh, I didn't expect they're gonna win everything. I didn't expect they're gonna win against us too. But after playing versus them, they're still 100 Thieves, but like I feel like better.
Yeah.
Better. But
what did they fix? What's better about it?
I don't know. They are still fighting for fight better, I guess.
Okay.
They were a new team, so obviously they're going to learn and grow. And I think that I always had a respect for FBI, so he's always a solid player. And having like a solid voice is very good for a very chaotic team, I think, which I would assume is 100 Thieves.
The really simplistic theory that we've had is that they were always pretty good at fighting, but now you need to fight more. Like the game almost feels a little simplified from last year, where and this is all, you guys can correct us if we're wrong, but like we would see even Team Liquid and FlyQuest, the biggest strength, one of the big strengths you guys had last year was from like 17 to 25 minutes. You were really good at playing the game. Like you get tier 2 turrets down frequently, you could put appropriate threat on Baron, get picks on Vision, but now it's a little more streamlined. Like there's the grubs, there's the feats of strength that you're always fighting around something the game tells you to fight. At 20 minutes, it immediately becomes about Atakhan. At 25 minutes, it immediately becomes about Baron. So it's like, because 100 Thieves is already good at fighting, the game is just more scripted for them and they don't have to. And then also, the advantage that you guys had there is a little bit diminished because everyone is doing kind of the same thing. That's an oversimplification, but how accurate do you think that is?
I think that's pretty accurate. I think what also helped them was that there's a lot more objectives now. Like Atakhan, Grubs, Dragon, and they're very good at fighting. So if you keep adding more objectives and like more opportunities to fight, obviously the macro part is going to probably go a little bit down for the tower system, or you're going to play less for the towers and more for the objectives probably, which is always good for a team that always wants to fight.
And Bwipo?
I think it's like a psychological thing on our end, at least. Like they commit as 5 people to every play. Like that's just a fact. Like 100 Thieves plays the game, as 5 people always commit. And like right now, it's like we haven't done scouting or anything like that because obviously you just play the first thing. You don't even have data to scout even. So my point is like, I think when teams actually get data to scout, they look at that and they're like, oh, so if you just have one guy know that he can drop the fight and go opposite side or do anything, like that guy's going to be Thanos every game because they're always committing as 5 people. They will overcommit to every play they make. That's just who they are. I think that also actually got better, to be fair. I wouldn't say they overcommit 110% of the time. Maybe it's like 80%. I think FBI like just being like, I'm not coming. Like that's probably a good thing for them too.
I remember there was this one play against FlyQuest in the 100 Thieves FlyQuest in like Spring Split where he just let you take everything topside. That definitely doesn't happen anymore, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I remember as well, basically. It's like, because they overcommit on the same play altogether, and I think they toned that down. I also think the game being more streamlined makes it easier for them, but I still think they overcommit to plays a lot. I just think that teams haven't, like, they don't have any staff members yelling at them like, if you lose to 100 Thieves when they overcommit as everyone does a play, we're reporting you. Like, you know? Because usually have a staff member making sure.
In a sense.
Yeah, they play free, and you need to realize, like, oh, when they commit, they commit with everyone. Like,
yeah,
there's a lot of teams you can like string along because there's some hesitation. That's not a team that hesitates. Like they will full commit to the play, and if you fight them, you need to be stronger.
Yeah. C9. Quick. I mean, however long you want to go on these thoughts. The thought I got from C9 after the series, Vulcan thought it was draft, and then I think Sven on the C9 podcast also said it was draft.
Sure. I think yeah, of course. I think that like generally speaking, from my perspective, is like. When you draft comfort, you challenge the opponents when they draft a counter to your comfort to say that you are not good enough on your champions compared to us to enter the winning situations. Because if you're playing a neutral objective fight and you have a poke comp against a short range comp that's trying to engage on you, you still need to win the laning phase or like be stronger than your opponent on the lane itself and then push them off the wave and then go into the vision, take the vision. And this whole cycle, there's a lot of small things you can mess up.
Yeah.
When you play comfort and you say, we don't care about the draft, like we're just picking our best champions, you're saying like, we're going to win lane against you guys anyway, or like one of our guys is going to break your setup or something good is going to happen for us. And the fact that we got called out on that is like, no, that's not going to happen. That's also, by the way, what I called Shopify out for is like, yeah, you guys have the poke comp, you have the wave virus, poke virus, but if you're not in the position to hold the vision and then poke us out from there, you are in fact going to lose. Because if you just play that comp like a 5v5 comp, it's not good enough.
Yeah.
You need to play to your strengths, composition strengths. I think C9 practiced well, showed up with that formula, and showed that they could not only play the laning phase, navigate the laning phase, but also set up the mid game so that we had to walk in on their vision, and our backline couldn't really play the game against Ziggs and Talia just throwing spells. So I do think it's the big picture here. I'm happy to see it, honestly. I'm relieved because I think that if you get this from home, I'm obviously using my experience from back when G2 and Fnatic were big in 2018, 2019, 2020. Like, we were constantly throwing back and forth in this kind of way, and it helped you realize like we need a bigger arsenal. Like we can't just rely on what our comfort is and then just outplay our opponents every time we get comfort. We're going to have to get uncomfortable, play a comp that we don't normally play because it's the only answer that we can identify to the answer they gave us, like that they brought to us. You ping pong back and forth, right? So like right now the ball's in our court. If we're playing in C9, what's our answer to Ziggs Talia type of drafts?
Right.
Do we still play that line where we first pick Ashe and let them play a poke comp?
Yeah, which could still happen. You guys could still play against Cloud9 because
really,
well, there's this weird thing that I'm thinking about as we're going towards the Americas playoffs.
Well, in finals, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, because it is North versus South.
Yeah.
But one team is going to first stand, so there could be two North teams in the final, and you're still going to be playing against each other in best of 5. So
100%.
Yeah.
If I heard correctly, we're on C9's bracket side, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I can show you here. The way first stand starts is 100 Thieves is going to play against Pain. Then Leviathan is against FlyQuest because they won to get the number 3 seed. So that's your side of the bracket. And then you're going to be seed number 4.
So who's on our? Is 100 Thieves on our side?
Yeah, 100 Thieves is on your side.
Which doesn't make sense to me because like why are we 1 and 3? Like surely the first seed team gets the 4th seed team from the LTA on their side of the bracket.
You get the 4th seed team. So the 4th seed
of
team
the North and South
of the North
make it
is the
equal.
1 seed from the South.
Yeah.
You know?
So we're playing the first seed.
It's
1-4 and
unfair
2-3, and then 1-4 and 2-3, and it's just.
Oh, that's why. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it makes sense. And we get the 4 seed LTA team.
Yeah.
And 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves gets the 4 seed LTA team.
Yeah.
Because they're first, and
Yeah.
we get the 2nd seed LTA team.
And then
'Cause we're
TL
third.
gets the 1 seed
South team.
Yes.
South team.
Now it makes sense.
Which actually was LLA team last.
Yeah.
The number 1 and number 2 seeds in the South were LATAM teams last year.
Okay, interesting.
Very familiar faces.
Burdal, Jose Diodo, Miru, Snacker,
Brutal
and
versus Impact.
Ackerman.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
And then for FlyQuest, you're playing Leviathan, which I'm going to mess up the pronunciation. I'm so sorry. Zothvi, Scary, Cody,
I know that guy.
Seo, and Pro Delta.
I've never heard of Pro Delta, but I heard everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they played the NA solo queue.
He's a Brazilian support.
Well, let's see it. I'm curious what will cook up.
Got to do scouting for the next week. I've been trying to watch a little bit of South, but it's just because it's right before our show, and sometimes in our show, I'm not catching all of it. So how are you going to approach this? Because you are playing a team that seems a little dark and unknown. You have what, like 5-6 days to prepare?
To be fair, I don't know about FlyQuest, but we used to like, at least in Academy and like LCS, we like always scrim them towards like the end of playoffs or like something because we just have no teams to play. So at the very least, we're very familiar with all the people from like
Latin America.
Yeah. Just not the imports probably that haven't played.
Right.
But I think Miru did play in.
Yeah, we have a lot of time on the plane, so.
True, same.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to scout. Like, I don't scout. Like, for example, we play Genji, I don't scout. We play Top Esports, I don't scout. I don't scout. I show up with my game, my picks. I just get told, this is what he likes to play. I think about it for 5 minutes. This is the situation I'm going to show up with. This is who I am. The only time I ever adjust what I do through my team is if I get information that is like from my staff, because I personally think that like identifying patterns is the hardest part of scouting. It's really hard. And I'm going to break my brain trying to identify patterns.
And if you identify the wrong pattern, it can hurt you.
Oh yeah, exactly. So I just have the wrong idea. And I'm a fundamentalist when it comes to League. You know, strong champion, has good tempo, groups up, gets vision. If you're standing in that bush, they face check you, a good thing will happen. So for me, I don't like to overthink like scouting and all these type of things. I trust the people that are assigned with that work, that they're going to give me good information. If they give me no information, I'm going in with my fundamentals and I'm trusting that the character I picked
strong enough.
Will be strong enough for a positive outcome. Because I don't think from my perspective, I'm like there to win the game for my team. I'm there to outperform the enemy top laner. Better influence on the game, like greater influence, positive influence than the enemy top laner. Like this last game in TL, not true though. I got gapped. Blows.
Unlucky. This is a pretty unique tournament as I'm thinking about it, because on one end, you're kind of getting international experience, but it's also just an America's final. So how are you approaching it from that end, Yeon?
I mean, to be honest, since we're playing in Brazil, there's like another funny thing. I assume most Brazilian fans will not like the fact that their first place seed is a not Brazilian team.
Okay, so
maybe they'll be hyped for us.
Rooting for you.
Yeah,
I don't know. How that's gonna work.
Maybe.
Honestly,
I don't know.
I think Brazilian fans would cheer for everyone, man. They just love.
I mean, I know they love their team though the most.
Well, of course, if you're playing as a Brazil team, you're fucked. But like, if you're playing against anyone else, you're chilling. Like, it's fine. Like, obviously they'll cheer more for the Brazilian team, but at least, I mean, I have buff, you know, so I'm chilling. FlyQuest is chilling.
Yeah, I'd heard from your team manager as well. I don't know if you know this, but the team you're playing against, Isurus, because they're a Latin team.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, they're in Team Liquid's facility in Brazil. They've been renting it.
It's time to kick them out.
Really?
So you're just gonna kick
them out. We're kicking them out.
But I think you're both just gonna be there. Well,
nah, we're kicking them out. I'm joking. Sorry, it was a joke.
It's funny.
Don't get me in trouble.
I appreciate it. That's just a fun little tidbit that you're then also randomly playing each other in the first round.
Yeah. Yo, what's up?
Yeah, what's up? Sizing them up as you walk in the door. Yeah, that's cool.
On the international experience, I do think that it is still international experience, and any rookies that like it's just. I still treat it as international experience, and you're going to like unfamiliar environment. I still think it still counts though. I think it'll be very valuable to like keep getting the experience for sure.
Yeah.
The routine changes. I think the routine changes is what makes an international event. Like when you think of international, it's the fact that your routine changes. Yeah. Like a big thing in international is like your scrim hours change too. Like, so you have to adjust the Asian scrim hours, you know? It's like, oh, like this is not what I'm used to.
Yeah.
And then also like in the evening, like your whole routine changes, and I think that's what changes. That gives you the experience. Really.
Actually, that's nice. So if you go to the like international stage or something, like you still play together until night. Yeah. There's no one individual room or something.
Yeah.
So you stay there, you eat together, like, and you spend the entire time like off day or like working day. Yeah. It's good time.
It's good team bonding. It's
good team bonding.
Similar to a boot camp.
We win.
Yeah. Yes, the worst is you take the 20-hour trip to Brazil, lose in a best of 3. Well,
it's not 20 hours, is it?
That was fun.
Like 12?
Well, they're
not that long.
I don't think there's any direct flights that you can get. Unless you get
I was told 19 hours.
Okay.
Oh, really?
That's just like total travel time from like.
Yeah, because you have a layover. So we fly to like probably like we fly to the other end of America because like South and North America are like this.
Yeah.
Like we're on this side and this is where South America is. So like you have to fly like this and then down.
I see. I guess it is that long.
Yeah.
It'll take a while.
Routine change.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Also, you're just not playing in like your comfort anymore.
Yeah.
And not playing in comfort is when you have probably nerves.
Yeah.
And other things just.
And it's a skill that you need to develop, which maybe is an advantage for both of you because you both have the exact same rosters that went to Worlds and MSI last year. So fingers crossed that you guys are able to do some work against the Brazilian teams who won't be having to do that because they're playing it in their home studio, basically. They're not having to do that large amount of travel. Fearless, we've talked about a decent amount. Something that I thought about today is that even in the 2-0s, where it doesn't feel from a viewer perspective like Fearless is making that big of a difference. Do you know of any pros that have actually disliked Fearless? Because I've heard that it might be way more fun just to practice, like because you're not on the same champion all day in scrims. Has that been an extra part of Fearless that has made it more interesting to just practice more fun now?
I personally like it a lot. I'm not playing Calista Varus Ashe every single game, so it definitely is like a big change.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's very nice.
Yeah, it's fun. Like way more fun, and then especially in solo queue too. Now you know, whatever you play solo queue can be actually played. Like can be really useful.
Find a window.
Yeah. So I think Fearless is the future.
You want it to stay for practice because
I like it.
Well, the one fear that I would have because when I started thinking about this, if you're trying to add a champion to your pool, back in the day, sometimes you would just like hard force that champion 3 or 4 scrims in a row.
Yeah.
But that's actually not possible now because you guys are all doing Fearless scrims. So you would only get to, like if you're trying to add Senna, you can do it once a day, if that, unless the other team takes it first.
Yeah.
Doesn't that make it much harder to add champions into your pool?
So that's where I think that individuals just have to keep playing the champion and learning its win condition on their own and then sharing their ideas.
Yeah.
I just think that you just have to be a lot sharper and adapt faster. It is how it is with one champion being OP.
Not really concerned for you guys either. Just practice it
I
on
like
your
it a
own
lot
and then
more. I
fit it
mean,
in.
one thing I'll say is like I'm excited for best of 5s in Fearless because I think when you're at a point where there's like 4 champions out, right? Because you're game 3, you're entering game 3. Like that's when you can be like, if I ban 3 champions straight, they don't know that I'm blind picking this. Because I've been thinking about that. You know, I've been thinking like game 4, like whoa. I'm sitting there like, I'll name the champion. I mean, he's on my arm. Yeah. I'm like, what can I set up for Gangplank? Because we've lost against Sinan, and I was like, we need a long range AD character for like figuring out like to counter this shit. Like, 'cause when they blind this shit, it's like that's not legal. Because I'm a Gangplank player. In my blood, I don't allow it. It's like someone blinding Jinx or like Jinx Hui already on the 4-5. It's like my blood's boiling. You know, it's like ooh, don't know if that's legal, guys. I don't know if that's legal. You know. Already you're looking for like Gragas, you're looking for Gangplank. And then like my point is like, I start immediately thinking like, how many bans do I need to get the Gangplank going? What needs to be out for me to blind him here? That to me is exciting as hell.
Nice.
And in general, I think that's a layer of competitive like uniqueness that we've never seen. Because like, it has to be the perfect storm. Like Garen, for example, coming out blind, it would never happen in game 1 if all champions are open. If game 2 went on, there were no Fearless bans and all the same characters in the game, I would never blind Garen like that. I would pick the champion that is named Cassante instead. Because why would I ever blind Garen when I could blind Cassante and do similar things, right? That's why I like it a lot.
There's an award for most Fearless player, actually.
Oh yeah.
It's literally just whoever plays the most unique champions in all of Split 1.
Oh.
So you kind of have to make the finals to just get raw number of
That's
games
true,
in.
yeah, that's true.
But
who has the most Pokemons right now?
Showmaker?
no, it's Isles.
Huh?
Oh?
He's not going to win. He has 7. And then there's 10 players with 6.
Wait.
So he just plays a different champ every game?
Oh, 7 for like only 8
Well,
days.
he's played 7. He's played more games than anyone else because he played last week and this week.
Oh, I see.
okay.
Yeah.
7 Pokemons? Okay.
But he would have had to do a unique one every
Fine.
game because it's 2-0,
Yeah.
2-1, 2-0.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So he's gathering Pokemons, he's abusing.
Oh.
All 5 players on 100 Thieves have played a different champion every game.
Really?
But they've only played
5.
6 because they had the
games,
tiebreaker game
okay,
as well.
okay.
For
Interesting.
Well, how many champions do I have?
probably 6.
How many games did I play?
Yeah,
7?
6. I just got told 6.
How many
6
games
champions.
do I have? 7?
Damn, I need to start thinking of some Pokemons.
Now it's
Like 8
competitive.
games.
8 games, I see.
Yeah.
The full season Fearless.
No,
Yeah.
interesting.
We should make it.
Shoot for the award, accidentally throw the finals because you're like, I can't play Jinx again. I have to play
I need this award. I need this award.
Oh, it's
need
fun, yeah.
Last question. Who do you think is the favorite to win the Americas playoffs?
FlyQuest, thank you.
Okay.
I have full confidence in my team. I think the level that we're operating at is 50 or 40%.
I think I need to make a rule then for both of you because you're just going to say, TLs, you're going to figure out your issues, you're going to win.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a good reason.
Favorite for second place.
We are playing operating at 40% of what we showed at Worlds. If we can claw back even 80.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, I'll wait to get to Yeon and Core. Who's your opponent in finals then? Because the other side of the bracket's got C9, Loud, Team Liquid,
Unironically,
as well as Isrus.
I don't know about the LTA teams. If they're surprised, fantastic. I'd love to see
South
that.
teams.
I'm excited for that. I hope they do. But patch notes would be a huge one here because I think both junglers are extremely reliant on meta. That's my opinion. I think that Umti versus Blabber will just literally be a coin flip on which jungler is stronger and how much how much effort you put into securing the better pick. Because I think that a lot of jungle metas, when I think of the TL and C9, it's you have one Skarner guy, one Sejuani guy, the other guy's playing, I don't fucking know what's next, Vi, Volibear, that's my point. You guys play a best of 3, that's what's going to happen. You're going to trade those champions and whoever plays some donkey champion. And I think that the team that gets the stronger jungler, just by nature of how I think both TL and C9 like to play around jungle support, running around and doing things C9 is it's similar TL and C9, I think, where it's if the enemy jungle support sees you on their screen, they will already know 30 seconds beforehand whether they're going to try to kill you or they're not going to try to fight you at all. And I think both of those teams follow the same formula in that sense. And I think that the stronger jungle/support combo of champions that can just bulldoze through and just win every 2v2, 3v3 skirmish, 4v4 skirmish, I think that team will have a better and easier time to win. I don't think either team will default into we're going to play the Zyra and we're just going to farm. They're going to run around and try to kill each other on those donkey junglers and just fight to the death. My opinion. Okay, yeah. So it's meta dependent because if the donkey junglers are bad, which could happen, right? Volibear gets nerfed, Skarner gets nerfed, Sejuani gets nerfed. Suddenly you have to play Zyra, Talia, whatever. I don't know what else you have. You have Diego, Wukong, specifically those carry junglers.
Yeah.
I think a lot more weight gets put on the rest of the team to pick fights. And I think that's where it gets interesting. Because I think at that point, I actually think TL's more favored because I think Impact will do a much better job of influencing the game than Thanatos.
Okay. Corey, I see you thinking a lot. Pondering.
I think he's enjoying the information.
He is, yeah. Processing.
I'm getting free scouting info.
But I don't know what my team thinks. That's just what I think. I have no idea.
Get in the mind of Bwipo.
Well, I wish we will win. I will try. But one thing I know is it's probably the same for the FlyQuest or something. We watch the FlyQuest game, we can win.
Yeah.
When we play today, we can win if we are better. But it's matter of who can be better.
Yeah.
During the project trip, but we have a Team Liquid project facility.
That's pretty big buff.
Okay.
So
yeah,
we get some advantage already.
Got a second team there already, keeping everything, all the PCs
so
working.
we try better, harder, than come back for the form.
Yeah. Any thoughts, Jan?
So you didn't see a team. Hold on.
He's a Team Liquid.
Yeah.
Is it team? I thought we weren't allowed to pick our own
True.
teams.
Okay, you're going to have to pick a
100
second
teams
team.
because they won
100
Okay.
Thieves?
Yeah.
for now.
Hold on, let me look at the teams real
Yeah,
quick.
yeah.
Let's see, who has the coolest name?
100 Thieves.
Yeah. He's saying who has the coolest name. Are you gonna pick Loud?
I mean, the players kind of have fun names.
They barely qualified.
Oh shit, really?
But
I thought they were good.
It went to
What happened?
a game 3 in their qualification.
Oh shit, I thought they were good. What happened to them?
I mean, they are good.
Sometimes just
The
get lost in the
LATAM
sauce.
teams just
Oh my
dominated
God.
over there.
I mean, they were
Pain.
saying same thing.
Pain. We will meet Pain in the finals.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Raz thinks that all 4 North teams will beat all 4 South teams in the first round.
I'd agree with
likely?
I would agree with you, but betting on
could backfire.
4 North American
And
teams
their
in
best
an
in
international
threes,
event,
it's
you are
risky.
trolling.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, 100 Thieves went from they beat C9, they look kind of legit to
I mean, yeah.
what did you guys show? Literally, what did you show up with the Worlds? Holy.
Anything can definitely happen within
You never know what happened.
yeah.
I'm thinking 3 is a safe bet. 1
Could happen.
North team, something's going to go a little finicky,
Yeah, I would say 3 is safe.
but I think 3 is a safe bet.
I just want to the patch notes are so interesting. I love this about international events. Is the patch. It's the
Well,
patch.
Is the new
it's
patch
next
out?
week, so next week is this patch.
Really?
Yeah.
How boring. I was
'Cause there won't
looking
even be a
forward
new
to
patch
spice
yet.
it up.
And then usually if it's mid-playoffs, they usually don't update, so I imagine finals is on this patch as well.
That's boring.
I'll put in like the YouTube comment whether or not that's true or not. Because we'll be
I'm
able
pretty
to
sure
figure
we're
it
playing
out.
on the same patch.
I think it's the same patch for the
Whole
rest of
season
it.
through, really?
We- so
probably.
last patch was this week Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
And we play our match on Saturday.
So
is it?
next week, guaranteed,
Saturday,
it's this
Sunday.
patch.
Yeah, for sure.
And then
for
it's only a
sure.
matter of if they update
Okay.
just for finals, which
Yeah.
would be pretty unlikely.
Okay.
Never mind then.
Yeah.
Then I don't know. I'd have to look at the LTA South teams, but like, yeah. Then I think honestly, like, it's good for other teams for sure. Like for them, I think they're happy. I think the meta suits them well. They're happy to see this, and I think TL and C9 are pretty evenly matched when it comes to meta. It'll be a player diff kind of series where like one player will outperform the other in a matchup, and that will swing the game. That's my feeling right now. Obviously, we'll have to see. But I will say, I do think this week's League of Legends was pretty low. I think all 4 teams that played this week, a lot left to be desired, including FlyQuest, 100%. So that's usually a good thing for variance.
Yeah. There was potentially a funny thing, and I'm probably putting words in someone's mouth. I don't even remember who I heard this from, but when the 2 LATAM teams in the South got the first and the second seed, then the Brazilian fans who followed the LCS last year are like, oh, awesome, TL and FlyQuest are going to be 3rd and 4th seed, so they can knock them out rather than playing against the Brazilian teams in the first round.
Yeah. No, that actually makes sense. They're pretty happy about that.
Yeah, that could be good, as long as you guys reach the level
I could see 100 Thieves making a little loopsy. Yeah. I could see it. I mean, we'll see if they learn from their experience at Worlds, but it could happen.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, guys, for joining us. I hope you can rest up before making the 17 to 19-hour trip.
Tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning.
I just want to read out the schedule really quick for those people watching. February 15th, Saturday, 100 Thieves versus Pain. After that, Leviathan versus FlyQuest. So you guys are playing on the Saturday.
Okay.
And then the next day is going to be C9 versus Loud first at 11 a.m. and then Isurus versus TL at 2 p.m.
We have one more day.
2 p.m. Pacific. So 2 hours earlier for a normal LTA North watcher is when it's going to be starting. Yeah, because of the local time in Brazil. So thanks for joining us. That's it for this week of Pros.
It. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're going to see everybody in Brazil. Bye.
Bye.